Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Tuesday night. And as this country faces its next major challenge, trying to save jobs, save businesses, save livelihoods without risking lives, there was major news on this front today. A $484 billion stimulus bill has just passed the Senate. The president speaking about it moments ago. It will help small businesses. It will help their workers who they're trying to save. They need it. It will also fund testing. The Treasury Secretary saying just moments ago it will give an unprecedented amount for testing. It comes as the death toll across America now approaches 44,000, still more than 2,000 lives lost in a single day. Hard-hit New York on the way down from the plateau, but that number, 481 lives lost in just the last 24 hours. In one New York City hospital, this mother, a coronavirus survivor, meeting her newborn daughter for the first time 25 days after she was born. But tonight, from Illinois to Massachusetts, governors warning they have yet to reach their peak. And we are on the front lines in Boston tonight with an EMT crew answering calls. That state battling to handle the surge, the governor closing schools for the rest of the year and hiring 1,000 contact tracers who will track any second wave of this when workers begin going back to work. Our report tonight on how that will work and will it be used across the country. The Illinois governor saying the peak there will likely come in mid-May. Meantime, South Carolina lifting restrictions tonight. The crowds at the beaches today in Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, Colorado, all moving to reopen. Hair salons and gyms reopening in Georgia Friday amid outrage tonight from mayors who say this is just too soon. So we will get to it all tonight, including those words from the head of the CDC late today, reportedly saying there's a possibility the second wave of this next winter could be even worse. Tonight, why he suspects that to be the case. But we begin with Whit Johnson right here in New York.
Tonight, as America considers its future beyond the pandemic, Chaplain Rocky Walker of Mount Sinai Hospital in New York warns of a second wave of suffering.
And that is a wave of depression, exhaustion, and weariness on the part of the healthcare workers themselves.
The chaplain witnesses doctors and nurses giving everything to this fight.
I see God in their reaction, their response, their courage, their faith.
And today, a shining example of what healthcare workers are doing in this crisis. A precious delivery inside Maimonides Hospital in Brooklyn. We first met Iris Nolasco 2 weeks ago, diagnosed with COVID-19, then separated from her newborn baby girl after an emergency C-section.
I just hope that I'll be, able to hold her and then just protect her.
Today, mother and daughter reunited. A new chapter for little Isabella Michelle.
Can I touch?
That is yours, go for it.
Relief after 25 days apart.
You can explain how much it hurts knowing that you have a baby and you cannot hug her.
Today, New York's Bryant Park with this message of thanks on its empty lawn for all essential workers. New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo acknowledging the number in his state are heading in the right direction.
Our calculus of good, our definition of good has changed here. Good is now not terrible.
Today, Cuomo heading to Washington to lobby President Trump on the one thing so many governors and health officials call key to reopening: stepped-up testing. A new Harvard study shows the U.S. needs to conduct between 5 and 20 million tests per day. So far, there have only been 4 million tests total. Cuomo says New York labs are ready and waiting, but he needs the president's help to get testing supplies.
You shouldn't expect all these governors to go run around and do an international supply chain.
Even as New York comes down the mountain, other states still bracing for the worst. In Illinois, the governor saying the state won't hit its peak until mid-May. Cases still surging in Massachusetts, the death toll climbing to more than 1,500.
The data shows we're still very much in the grips of a pandemic.
But 3 southern states are making aggressive moves to reopen, though none of them are reporting a steady 2-week decline in cases as the White House guidelines recommend. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp facing a local backlash for his ambitious plan to open gyms, hair salons, and bowling alleys on Friday, some movie theaters and restaurants next week.
When we have more people moving around, we're probably going to see our cases continue to go up, but we're a lot better prepared for that now than we were over a month ago.
Kemp now taking heat from mayors from Albany.
I pray that the number of Georgians who are infected and die will not increase significantly in the coming weeks as a result of the lifting of these restrictions.
To Atlanta.
I certainly cannot in good conscience say that I agree with his order, and I will continue to use my voice as mayor of Atlanta to ask people to continue to stay home, follow the science, and exercise common sense.
But some business owners like Shannon Stafford, who owns a beauty salon in Savannah, are desperate to reopen.
It's just a scary situation all the way across the board. But we're in a situation where we have to work.
In neighboring South Carolina, Senator Lindsey Graham tweeting, "I worry that our friends and neighbors in Georgia are going too fast, too soon." Adding, what happens in Georgia will impact us in South Carolina. But South Carolina is easing restrictions too. Beachgoers allowed back to the shores, people grouping together with chairs and coolers.
It's showtime!
Some businesses opening their doors to eager customers with social distancing limits. In Washington tonight, word Congress has struck a deal on a $484 billion plan to help the economic recovery, including new loans for small businesses, plus more money for hospitals and testing.
There have been some big businesses that have taken these loans. I was pleased to see that Shake Shack returned the money.
Obviously, Shake Shack was not alone in being a big company that got money in this. Are you going to be asking? You're going to ask them to return that money? Yep.
John Carl on following the money trail with the president and the Treasury Secretary just moments ago, and we want to bring in Whit Johnson with us tonight. And Whit, that other news late before we came on the air tonight, that warning from the head of the CDC reportedly telling the Washington Post that the second wave of this virus next winter could be even worse.
Yeah, David, and the CDC director saying in that interview when he warns people about that second wave, they just kind of put their heads back. They don't understand what he means. Dr. Birx was just asked about this during the White House Coronavirus Task Force press briefing a moment ago, and she said if there is a rebound later in the year, we are better prepared, able to watch for warning signals early on. David?
Let's hope so. Whit Johnson, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.